Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Lanes Explorer Thursday morning ride. We're coming into the little village of Hornby, yes, famous for its castle, and the River Winning, which we're going to ride over fairly soon. And yeah, lovely little villages. Now, I'm not going to do an old n-Goldie. Hello Rog, who tells us lots and lots of facts about everything. Brilliant videos, and he's just found a new couple that he had on his camera from the time before he had his accident, which I thoroughly enjoyed watching. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit though about the little white water trough that we're going to see in a moment. It's just on the wall, set into the wall a bit further along. Just going to slow down here as this bloke reverses, sorts himself out. Yes, a tight right hand bend, and just set into the wall is a white drinking trough, and just up on the above it is there's a cat and a rat set into it, sort of sculpted into it and painted white, just up there. Rather curious. Anyway, that's mid 1800s. That listed, grade 2 listed. It took me some time to find out about that, but anyway, that's that one. There's been some wonderful videos actually I've been watching. There's old n-Goldie and Martin Trafford, of course, who gives us the same sort of information about everywhere he rides. It's Martin Trafford, Moorland biker. Saddlebag 73, of course, Jeff. Hello Jeff. He's just come back from the Wild Atlantic Way in Ireland, Southern Ireland, and that's well worth watching. As is Tiger Ness. He's done something very similar, same sort of place, and oh, the views are just absolutely magnificent. So this little road will run us to the seaside. I hope you've got your buckets and spades and your rubber ring. Talk about rubber rings, actually, we used to have old lorry tyres. Once you couldn't afford to buy plastic mud packs, they weren't available in the 50s. Anyway, there's a huge inner tubes from lorries and buses, which used to inflate and carry with us all the way to the seaside. Now, of course, nowadays that would be called wild swimming, wouldn't it? But we just used to call it swimming, of course, in the sea. And one of the things that I did notice, I was used to swimming in the sea, which is quite buoyant because of salt water. And when at school we had to go to the swimming bars, it was fresh water. But I couldn't swim. I just used to feel as though I was sinking to the bottom. It was a horrible feeling. At Hillsey, we also used to go to Hillsey Lido, or we used to call it the Lido. Let's go to the Lido, we used to say. And that was salt water, and it was open air, of course, as Lidos are. But I do remember going with my parents and the mum and sister, and her friend and her sister, her older sister, Diane. Not the same Diane that we have heard about in other stories. Anyway, Diane was about 18, I think she must have been. Thinking about it now, perhaps not quite so old as that. And she had a bikini. Must have been from the first. And she dived into the water and lost the bottom half, so she had to stay in the water. And Mum, she was waving frantically from the edge of the Lido, and Mum went down with a towel and managed to get her out of the water. Couldn't have been easy actually to get her out of the water without displaying everything. Anyway, that was it. I just came back to me actually while I was thinking about that rubber tyre. I don't know why. Anyway, that's the way my mind works. Yes, so where were we? I can't have lost the track of this now. Oh yeah, that's right. Those lorry tyres. We used to, as I say, have to walk with these blinking great lorry tyres to the sea. East Knee was a favourite because it was a tiny bit of sand there. Not a great deal, it must be said. Most of it was all pebbles, and extremely hard, I recall, walking over these pebbles to get there into the sea. God, it used to be crowded in the. I mean, it wasn't really sunny never sunny in the even in the south of England during the summer. It was never that sunny and never that hot. Certainly not like today. But yeah, we used to sit there on these hard pebbles. We wouldn't pay for deck chairs, of course. And tomato sandwiches. I remember having tomato sandwiches for a bit of a meal, lunchtime. And this is the village of Caton, by the way. And here there is a very old oak tree. Yeah, many centuries old oak tree. It's not much of it left now. It's a bit shriveled and dried, as you might expect after all that time. But soon we're going to get through the village, and we're going to take a turn off up to the right towards the village of Holton. So yes, we used to also go much closer to home, and that was Langston Harbour. Now Langston Harbour used to have a lot of houseboats in one part of it, all the way around the edge, because obviously after all the houses were bombed in Portsmouth. I say all the houses, a lot of the houses were bombed in Portsmouth, down by the dockyard area. So people didn't know where to live, so they lived in houseboats, and they were the old wartime motor torpedo boats, sort of plywood jobs they were, and that's where they used to live in there. And we used to walk around, but we used to go swimming in Langston Harbour. Langston Harbour was not the most attractive of places to swim in. Thinking about it now, it was actually damn right dangerous, because there were bits of broken bottle and all sorts of stuff chucked in there. Absolutely awful. Alright, once you got swimming, I presume anyway, good, the water quality was like, I dread to think, actually. But we thoroughly enjoyed it, as we did so many things, and we just got on with it. And health and safety was pretty well unheard of. We used to play in buildings that have been partly wrecked, and bits of twisted metal. And there was one place actually not too far from where we lived, and it had all huge pipes and things like that. And we used to play in these big pipes and things. And we used to be chased off. Marchetti's was the name of the building firm, and yeah, there was obviously someone in there that looked after it. They always used to chase us kids out, but that didn't stop us, did it? We used to go back. Oh, great fun it was. Yeah, I do. I feel sorry for kids today. Everything is so sanitised, and there just isn't anything like that to play in. Never mind. This is rather a nice little run up towards Holton, but very, very bumpy, diabolically so, and just loads of up on that bit. Terrible. Yeah, so we've got to avoid all the bumps as best we can anyway. Not easy. That's right. Get over there. Yeah, so there's been some wonderful videos just this last couple of weeks. Thoroughly enjoyed them. I hope you all think the same about this one. I'll do my best. I see actually we've just got over 900 subscribers, which is wonderful. Thank you all so much. Now, one of my videos, one of the most popular actually, has been the panniers and carriers for the Royal Enfield Hunter, and it's had so many views, as has one of the model boat ones, one of the yacht ones that I did. That's about how you fit the sail control into this particular yacht, and the reason I did that was because I couldn't find any information about it, so I thought I had to work it out for myself. And I thought, well, if I couldn't find it, then perhaps there isn't anything, so I put mine on. And obviously that is the situation, that there just isn't anything about it apart from mine. And yeah, you don't often get people putting panniers on, although I have to say, Economical Rides, he did, yes, hello Gary, you did put your own panniers on, and but I see they've come off again for the moment, but I'm sure they'll go back on again. Yeah, lovely little run this is. So yes, off to the seaside. Now, you haven't seen me go to the seaside very often, have you? Don't normally show that, but I thought I would this time. I mentioned last time that about the motorcycle dealers that were in Portsmouth. One I completely forgot was John Fisher, Rider Agent, it was called. Later on, John Fisher had an airline that used to run from the Portsmouth airfield to Jersey and Guernsey. But during the 60s, he was actually a Honda agent, Honda and Suzuki. He had some of the one of the Super 6s, Suzuki Super 6, which a friend of mine had one, and he said trying to pull away from the curb, you had to rev the thing like mag. It had no torque whatsoever. It was all rev and no go. But I remember going in there for a sparking plug. It was the closest dealer to me actually, and went in for this spark plug, and the chap behind the counter there, the assistant, sales assistant, he only had a right arm. His left arm had been amputated at some point, but he did amazingly well, and he got this spark plug out and tucked it under his arm, left arm, and put some copper slip on it. And he said, I always do this, he said, whenever people buy a spark plug. He said, this will stop it seizing up in an alloy head. And absolutely right. And do you know, ever since then, I've always used copper slip on my spark plugs. It's just amazing that a lovely little gesture like that has stayed with me all of these years, over 60 years. So thank you, gentlemen in John Fisher's, for that little tip, especially on my my flat floor air-cooled VW Beetle, which had a hell of a job getting the spark plugs in and out of. As you might imagine, they're tucked in very close to the side of the car, and if it wasn't for copper slip, they'd be sea-solid. So yes, I've always used it. I'm sure any of you who do your own servicing, you also use copper slip. Marvellous stuff. So we're not too far off, going through a little estate called Hest Bank, and that'll take us down to the seaside. As some of you know, I found two negatives. Do you remember negatives? Yes, pre-digital days, that I'd taken of my BSA A65 twin when I actually rode up what was a road that was being built and parked it up there. And this was about a year after I'd actually built the A65, and took these two photographs of it, and I actually had these two negatives in my folder of negatives, which fortunately I'd also catalogued, so I was able to find them after a couple of hours searching, and I scanned them in. I've got a little film scanner, scanned it into my computer, and I was able to print them out. And I was thinking, gosh, would I actually be able to do a rebuild like that now? I doubt it very much actually. I've got all on to keep my little Beetle running, and it's just so nice with these bikes I have now. I just get on and ride them. So I don't think I really want to be doing anything like that again. It was great at the time, bearing in mind I was in my 20s and I didn't have a lot of time. I was working full time, but now I've got the time. I've got lots of other things I want to be doing, so I don't think I should be getting myself an old British machine and renovating it. Now, just coming into this little area here, I think this is called Slime with Hest, this part. Not entirely sure about that, what it's called. But that would take us on to the main A6 road, which leads to the left. It goes to Lancaster, and to the right off to the village of Carnforth. A brief encounter and all that. And we'll nip across that road, A6, and down into Hest Bank. And we'll go through Hest Bank onto the what's called Coastal Road, and that takes us down to the seaside. There is our main road, A6, and this is Hester Bank. Posh part this is. Posher anyway. Soon we'll be going over the canal. Yeah, there we are. This is Coastal Road. I'm going to go off to the left here, and soon we'll be in sight of the sea. So I'll just keep quiet for a while and let you enjoy that first sight of it. Lovely long seafront here. We'll walk about maybe 3.5 to 4 miles to Isham. Well, thanks ever so much for watching, and see you, as I say, see you again soon, I hope. Bye for now.